All right, so Galaxy is going to be the first runner to get started on the prologue here. And prologue is just 40 seconds for now of just jumping across this level, having this fun little tutorial bird tell you that you're able to jump, climb, and dash. Yeah, nothing too special. We do kind of do these little bunny hops across the screen, and bunny hops is just named for like a really quick jump, and we might talk about bunny hops a little bit later as they relate to our movement in the later stages of this game. But yeah, prologue is just like a nice little break to kind of get you into the flow of the game, I would say. All right, just a brief little pause for some sync. So one thing to note before we get into Forsaken City, those little timers that we see in the cassette tapes on our screen, those are the in-game timers. So Celeste uses in-game time because the game, being built for speedrunning a little bit as it was, has that built-in timer, and we found that it's fairly accurate. So rather than like setting up life split all the time, we'll just use the in-game timer because it's pretty easy. All right, so Forsaken City is where the speed run gets going. Like we can already see that our runners are kind of wall bouncing and hyper dashing all over the place. Wall bouncing being those like that wall jump that you saw those two runners doing, where they hit jump right as they were against the edge of the wall and then kind of bounced up, got more height, a little bit more speed. Then hyper dashes we might be seeing on Galaxy screen, where yes, that was a reverse hyper dash, but yeah, you just kind of so you do your dash while holding down against the ground, or you can also jump to the ground and then do your dash, and that gives you a dash which will shoot you straight across the screen. It's very great speed, and also if you time it right, like Galaxy just did, you get to retain a dash so you can cover even more ground. So yeah, those are like the two fundamental pieces of the Celeste speed run: the wall bounce and the hyper dash. And basically, we're just maintaining a lot of these movement, like kind of just moving fast all throughout this run. Okay, so it kind of sounds like Galaxy only has the sound effects going, so we'll check out iSolid's audio for a second here. There we go. There's Lena Rain's score, which you can get on Bandcamp. Yeah, so yeah, Forsaken City, as you just saw, it's relatively simple. Like, you did see a couple mistakes from both runners, but that's to be expected. Like, you can't play every level perfectly all the time. Yeah, Forsaken City is done, and now we're on to Old Site, which... yeah, Old Site is also relatively basic. You're just kind of trying to move as fast as you can through this level. Like, it's another pretty short level, and it does have this interesting mechanic in these dream blocks that are going to be activated pretty shortly, where there's these like blocks that you dash through where, yeah, you can see being demonstrated on both screens right now. You just dash through them and they shoot you forth. You would go infinitely if they lasted forever. But yeah, we're basically just like using those to move fast. We're able to jump out of them. Yeah, they're a really fun mechanic, and they're all too short-lived throughout the speedrun. Like, they'll be here for about 2.5 minutes, and then another minute in the last chapter, but we'll get to the last chapter when we get to that. Okay, so now we're in the battle line chase. If you've seen the Celeste run before, you kind of know battle line pretty well at this point. She mimics her movements. She's on a 3-second delay, and we just have to make sure our own movements are enough to kind of, move fast, but also kind of dodge her. Yeah, so Sal getting out to a couple screen lead here, though. Again, with Old Site, the screen that Sal's coming up on with this long battle line chase sequence, that could be something of an equalizer because this is a long screen, and dying on the screen, especially near the end, that could be pretty... yeah, that could be pretty costly. But Salad misses the key block. Yeah, has to take that death there, just because they kind of painted themselves into a corner, and I don't know how they could have recovered from that. So yeah, we can kind of see that Galaxy, just from one screen alone, is able to tie this race back up. But yeah, the hard part of Old Site is older, and now comes the really hard part, which is kind of getting through these screens where nothing can kill you really efficiently. So one thing that you're going to see the runners doing is, so obviously hyperdashing is the fastest way to move just in general, but hyperdash also sends you flying at a low arc. So sometimes to avoid running into a ledge or clipping the corner, you'll see runners kind of like do that little bunny hop that we saw in the prologue to give themselves like, you know, this about the same momentum. Like, it's not really a big speed loss, but they're also giving themselves more height, and that's kind of one of the things that you have to do to, you know, run this game efficiently. It's just like, you know, be aware of when's the right time to hyper dash, when's the right time to wave dash, when's the right time to just do a simple little bunny hop. Galaxy going into the options menu for a second, but yeah, super close coming out of chapter 2. Yeah, so it looked like both runners exited there with about 426. So obviously, Celestial Resort is a place where leads can change. Like, if you play through this casually, you kind of know the pain that Celestial Resort provides. Like, it's definitely like an uptick in difficulty, and it's also an uptick in difficulty for the speed run, simply because those cycles that present such a problem in the casual playthrough are now, like, now we're not trying to like move just precisely through those, we're also trying to move fast. So one good thing about Celeste is that there's not really a ton of not any RNG in this game, so we can predict these cycles. We know how all these dust bunnies are going to be moving. But again, like, you know, knowing how to move and being able to move through them is two different things. Yeah, so both runners getting through the first fourth of Celestial Resort on pretty decent pace. I think, yeah, you can see definitely a couple mistakes from both players. You know, maybe it's like the nerves from the race situation that's kind of getting to them. But again, it's probably not just that. It's that Celestial Resort is tough, and it's very hard to move through these cycles. But yeah, given where these two competitors' PBs are on the leaderboard, Galaxy sitting on a 39 and Salad sitting on a 38, if I'm remembering correctly, maybe a minute lower for both. Yeah, they're giving us about the race that I would have expected when, you know, when this was announced. So yeah, this is very cool to see there. I think Galaxy's just a screen behind right now. Yes, now we're in this huge mess section, which begins with this like really tough, you know, like maze of boxes, towels, and books that you have to navigate. And then there's like 3 different platforming sections. So these sections kind of change depending on like the order in which you clear them. In the Celeste run, it's kind of routed out so that when we get through one of these sections and we clean up like one of those objects, we are in the closest area to where Oshiro spawns. We can just like trigger that cutscene, skip this cutscene. So yeah, we pop out right at the bottom there, and Oshiro's just right there for us. So then we can just talk to him really quickly and move on to the next stage really quickly. So yeah, so when you clear out a section, it removes those items from the next section. So it does make the next couple sections difficult depending on the order that you do them. But again, a lot of runners will get accustomed to the difficulty of, you know, the sections as they are in like the, you know, quote unquote optimized route, just to get used to this route that they're probably going to want to take as they get their times lower and lower. Yeah, so it looks like Sal's been moving through the section pretty well. Galaxy with just a minor error here or there, but yeah, with how Sal's been playing so far, like, it would take like more mistakes from Sal to like bring this race closer again. But again, this still is a rather close race. It's just, you know, yeah, just a few screens behind. But Sal did increase their lead going through this portion of the level, and now they're going to be moving on to the elevator shaft, which is again more tight movement through cycles and trying to avoid, yeah, these little dust bunny guys here. Yeah, so we got Salad coming up on one of these longer screens where there's no real like movement from any of these dust bunnies, but it's still like a lot of, you know, tight moves that you have to make through that section. But he gets through it okay. Gets through that section with the, you know, like up and down things. And now here we could be moving on. Oh, takes a death there. And you might have been able to see that like those dust bunnies were all moving slightly differently than they were before, which kind of like alters what Salad has to do to get through that room. So yeah, runners do kind of have to memorize a death cycle and an entrance cycle in order to, you know, complete runs in a race environment. So yeah, credit to Salad for getting through that. Credit to him for getting through the 4 Hyperdash room, which Galaxy got through. I think it looked like on the first try for Galaxy. Yeah, so the only thing separating them now is this like rather long screen that Galaxy should be able to clear. Yeah, one hopes. All right, so they're both going to be on the Oshiro section now. So Oshiro is one of the quote-unquote boss fights in this game. This is really like just another chase sequence. So a lot of plot happens. We make that ghost boy we were trying to talk to angry, and now he charges at us. He'll lock onto our vertical position at certain intervals, launch this lightning bolt across the screen, and then chase after us. So not only are we trying to avoid the dust bunnies, we're trying to avoid Oshiro now. And that can be a rather tall order, though Salad is getting through this rather efficiently. Yeah, so what Salad just did there was take an intentional death, and again, like this game will give you like the entrance cycle and the death cycle. But the way a lot of runners practice this game is they will practice like specific screens, and ooh, that was a rough one on the long screen. So the way they practice this game is they will like retry the room over and over again. So Salad is probably a lot more practiced with the death cycle than they are with the entrance cycle. Yeah, get to the screen second try, but that may be enough for Galaxy to make up a lot of ground. Oh, gets the bop on Oshiro. Yeah, that may have been a rather lucky bounce, but that's enough to send Galaxy through. And yeah, this is a really tight race of 3 chapters. All right, so now we're in Golden Ridge, which introduces one of the more fun mechanics, I'd say, with these like green bubbles that kind of shoot you out and they give you like an extra midair dash. But it also has 2 of like the more annoying mechanics with the clouds that Sal's trying to navigate right now, and also the wind. The wind pushes you back. So when you dash through the wind, you're not affected at all by the wind itself. So dashing is really the only way that we're able to like move quickly through these screens. And once we get to the heavy wind section on the old trail, shout out to this group, they're not going to be able to move at all unless they dash. All right, Salad had a little trouble setting up an auto-scroller skip there. So yeah, they're just going through the intended way. Yeah, recovers nicely, gets that double wall bound strat. Oh, Salad doesn't quite get the auto-scroller skip, so we have a little bit of sync. So Salad is ever so slightly ahead on the in-game timer, but like 1 second is barely a lead. So Galaxy gets it on the first try. And Salad moving just a little bit clumsier on this screen, and Galaxy with his own little bit of a stumble there, so yeah. Oh, and then there's a death from Salad. So Galaxy has taken the lead from now, and I did see Galaxy practice this level a little bit before the race, so it's nice to see that little bit of practice pay off. Oh man, isn't that hyperdash? So Salad is now just a second in the lead here. Yeah, going for these reverse dashes because like they're trying to get a hyperdash, but with such a tight space, they're very restricted, so they had to resort to a hyperdash in order to get speed and navigate through the wind. Alright, so yeah, Salad maintaining a slight lead in this race. But again, that could change in the old trail, because as annoying as the wind is, the snowballs that they're going to be dealing with in short order here are even more annoying. Yeah, snowballs are kind of like Oshiro. They track your vertical movement, but unlike Oshiro, they aren't nice enough to announce when they're arriving. So you just kind of have to move quickly. Oh, taking a death in this like quasi-auto-scroller. I mean, all auto-scrolls in this game are quasi-auto-scrollers because they're only like 4 seconds long, but that's semantics, so yeah. So yeah, Galaxy getting through these first couple snowball rooms with aplomb. Yeah, Sal doing just enough to maintain. Ooh, Galaxy doesn't quite hit the spring. Oh no, and Salad also taking a death on the screen. Oh, and that, yeah, the snowball, and you can definitely see, like, you know, how rough snowballs can be. So because, like, they just whap you in the face and there's really nothing you can do about it. You just have to accept it if the snowball just, like, comes at you from that side of the screen. But yeah, both runners showing solid stuff. Yeah, Salad's going to be the first one out of Golden Ridge. Galaxy should be following. Yeah, we got 14:08 on the clock for Salad, and Galaxy was something like a 14:13. This is a 5-second race. Okay, so Mirror Temple. So Mirror Temple is kind of divided into two halves. So first we get the section with like really cool movement, a couple of like really fun skips. So yeah, we have these dash blocks, and we're able to use the momentum generator. So every time we dash, those blocks will move. So oftentimes we can timer dash just right so that we can land on those blocks, and we can give ourselves a lot more momentum. And both runners getting a nice little dash, getting a nice little wave dash there to skip 2 rooms. Yeah, no major mid-steps, which in rooms with no actual way to kill you, like, you definitely want to avoid, like, you know, movement flubs in those. So yeah, both runners moving through efficiently with decent pace. Oh, Galaxy misses that block, so yeah, they're kind of a commentator curse, I guess, but yeah. So Sally going through one of those dev intended skips that are in the level. Normally you're supposed to bring a key through that little corridor to unlock one of the collectibles in this game, but as speedrunners, we just kind of use that corridor to get through the level. We're not looking for keys. Alright, so Salad going through the mirror, introducing us to the Seekers. Yeah, they're in this cutscene about a 15:37, and you can definitely see how much like even a minor movement error can cost you in this stage, because now Galaxy's behind by about like 12-15 seconds. So yeah, Salad extending their lead, and they're going to be they're going to be going through the Seeker section. So Seekers are AI, and they will kind of lock onto where we are, and they will try to get to us by any means necessary. Now, luckily, Seekers can do a couple very helpful things, such as activate key coins, and also sometimes maybe just completely forget. And they're also, you know, somewhat predictable. So we're able to kind of manipulate their AI to give us a little bit of an assist. Yeah, so we might see... Yeah, so the Seeker barely scraped by the edge of that coin there. Yeah, so the Seeker itself can trigger those coins, or the Seeker's body, as you saw from Galaxy screen, that can also trigger the key coins. So yeah, this screen is also... This might be the most important one in the race as it stands right now, because a death here is super costly. Like, this is going to be a multi-second loss if either runner falls victim to this Seeker. Yeah, Sal gets through just fine. Yeah, manages to get the Seeker to just kind of get it to knock itself against the wall, so we'll see how Galaxy handles this screen. It doesn't quite get the jump on the Seeker, but the Seeker does open up one of those blocks for him, so assuming that they can get through this part okay, they should be able to just hyperdash and... Okay, yeah, Galaxy through. Alright, so Salad, nailing third skip. That's a simple reverse dash dump to jump over some spikes and skip a long segment of the game where you have to collect a couple keys. Oh, that's a... I did not quite catch what happened to Galaxy. I only saw the death animation, but yikes. But yeah, makes it through on the second try. They're going to be going for a third skip on their own. All right, yeah, they get third skip. Of course, it's probably the first thing you learn when you're learning to speedrun Celeste. It's one of the most important skips. All right, so now Salad is showing us the Theo section. So here, a lot of plot happens. Theo, our friend who we've seen like in a couple of cutscenes that we skipped. He's trapped in this crystal. So the gameplay in this section is a lot different from the gameplay in other sections because now we have to throw this crystal. We have to like escort Theo in this crystal around. So we're not able to dash while we're holding Theo. But if we catch Theo in midair and just continue dashing, we're able to retain our momentum. Salad, unfortunately, clipping that Seeker, but gets a strat second try. Galaxi's going to be joining him in this section. So Galaxy, I did also see them practicing this part in the race, so we'll see if that pays off. All right, Salad showing us how the momentum of the dash blocks works, just like jumping at just the right time to gain just incredible speed. Oh, yeah, I couldn't quite recover that, so just opting to dash into those spikes, take that death. Oh, barely. Okay. Yeah, Salad is through. All right. So again, Galaxy just 3 sections behind right now, it looks like. Doesn't quite get as much momentum off of that block, but yeah, still making really good pace. All right, meanwhile, Salad looks like he's having some trouble navigating this last Seeker room, but yeah, gets the bop on the Seeker, and okay, so Galaxy also in that last room. I don't think he knows. Yeah, so Seeker section can be weird because this is the only part of the game where there's real improvisation coming into effect. Like you'll see the occasional save here and there, but yeah, Galaxy looked like he was having to just like kind of think of, okay, how do I get Theo across but also deal with the Seeker? But he gets there. He's thrown Theo at the eyeball, as you do, and yeah, he's going to be joining Salad elections. All right, so it looks like Salad's opened up about a 20-second lead so far, but again, Reflection is definitely a level where that can definitely be made up. Like, there's a lot of new stuff, and I mean, there's new stuff introduced like in every level of the game, but especially this one, where now we have these feathers which kind of like float us across, give us the gift of flight for a second. So yeah, one way that we try to make this faster is a lot of runners, if they're using a controller with D-pad and analog stick, they will kind of switch to analog stick for these sections just because like it gives you better control over Madeline, and you're also able to control her movements like a little bit more precisely. I think you lose speed for every 15 degrees that you turn in the feather, which you can't do like moving with 8 directions on the D-pad. Yeah, we also get these crush blocks, which aka Kevin blocks, named after the man who made that noise. So yeah, basically they just kind of rush through the screen, crushing everything in their path. And again, if we jump off of those at just the right time, we're able to get a lot of momentum off of those. And you can see Galaxy doing that to great effect. Yeah, Reflection is another level that's kind of divided into halves. So the first one is just like navigating through this like really, well, not twisted, there's only like a few paths of divergence and there's 2 paths apiece, but yeah, it's this maze of spikes and these weird little bumpers where you kind of know where you're going when you hit them, but if you hit them at like just the right angle, they'll send you flying somewhere that you didn't expect and you kind of have to adjust to that. But yeah, both runners seem to be getting the bumpers to cooperate. And Galaxy getting the strat where you take a feather into this room and you're able to skip one of these dash crystals, and that's just a little bit faster. Like Celeste is like this really big flashy game, but it's really kind of about tiny optimizations, like getting that little bumper boost there where, but but it's also about trying to avoid mistakes like that. Like, this room obviously isn't one of the more painful rooms in Reflection to die, but any death, especially in a race like this where these PBs aren't too far off, these players aren't too far off from each other right now, yeah, that can be pretty costly because Salad hasn't been making a ton of mistakes. At least I haven't heard the death noise from their side of the screen while I've been talking about Galaxy. Alright, Salad not opting to go the full 7-10 skip, but also taking a checkpoint so that if they kind of hit a spike, they wouldn't be sent all the way to the beginning of the screen, which again is smart. You don't want to, like, cause some multiple seconds going for something silly. Alright, so we're going to ride this last crush block. Goodbye, Final Kevin. Alright, so what he just did was called Battle Line Boost. So he jumped off that Kevin block at just the right time, and that gave him an incredible amount of speed. Then in that next screen, he jumped at just the right time to get through to clear the entire corridor without hitting any walls, and he just flew right into Battle Line. Didn't have to press any, at least I don't think they had to press any additional buttons, and yeah, just starting this Battle Line fight off with style. We'll see if Galaxy goes for the same thing. Yeah, so Galaxy didn't quite get Battle Line boost, but still made very good time through that first screen. Yeah, so now we're in the Battle Line fight. So the main object of this fight, and this is the first actual fight in this game, basically we're just knocking ourselves into Battle Line to say, hey, we accept you, and we want to, team up with you and whatnot. We're confronting ourselves, as the name of this song implies. And Salad, taking a death on that screen. Yeah, deaths in this section can be extremely costly, simply because, not only do you have to go through these platform sections again, but oftentimes you'll have to sit through multiple of these, little miniature animations where, you knock into Battle Line, she knocks you back, and you're kind of suspended in the air for a second and a half. And that's another death in this feather room. This room can be kind of treacherous to navigate, and this may open the door for Galaxy to come back a little bit if, they can have a similarly solid reflection. Alright. So Salad making it through this last screen of, phase 1 of the Battle Line fight, phase 1 encompassing about, I want to say 2/3 of this fight, and they're going to be moving on to the remix section where, the music gets a little bit more intense. Yeah, get kind of crushed by one of these moving blocks. Obviously Battle Line can move blocks, that's just a thing, we accept it. Yeah, it recovers nicely, There are some deaths that, not every death is created equally. There are some deaths which you're willing to take because it means you're going fast, but, some deaths, if you were to run into spikes at the end of the screen, which he doesn't, good anti-curse, yeah, those would be a lot more costly than that, simple thunk that was at the start of this phase 2. Oh no, and Salad takes a death in about the midway point of this last screen. Okay, they're able to jump to avoid that spike. That was a little bit tense for a moment, so Galaxy is... that allowed Galaxy a little bit of room to catch up. They just need to avoid that same mistake on this screen, and yeah, this is still going to be a super close race right now. Okay, Galaxy, it looked like just took a little bit of a hesitation on there to make sure that Battle Line's laser would be hitting where he wasn't going to go. Yep, they are through. So Salad and Galaxy are both equipped with their double dash. Salad getting out of there at about 26:39. Alright, Galaxy just needs to get to this orb, and we're going to set this cutscene. It's going to be about 27, so yeah, it's still about a 20-second lead for Salad. Yeah, 20 seconds. That is definitely not a safe lead at this stage of the game because the summit is obviously the most difficult section or the most difficult chapter of them all. It's the longest chapter, and yeah, it's definitely the most challenging platform because now we're fitted with our new double dash, which gives the ability to dash twice. So there's a lot more spikes, a lot more treacherous gaps. Like developers or the level designers really knew how to take advantage of this ability. So we're going to be revisiting every single level in this game, starting with Reflection, because in Reflection we're knocked back to the base of the mountain. Yeah, this is just like real heckin' close. I mean, props to these runners for giving us a show. Real quick, want to give them a shout out. If you haven't already, make sure to give them a follow. So yeah, now we're in the city remix portion. So yeah, the first few segments of, let's say that, Sally kind of takes that there, but yeah, these first few, they're relatively simple. Like, you kind of know what to expect, you kind of know what you're doing all throughout. Yeah, again, like, you know, simple mistakes like that in screens where we may not expect Galaxy to make a similar mistake, those can definitely be costly in this environment. But yeah, Sal getting through here. Yeah, that one mistake aside, getting through pretty decently. Yeah, they're on the last screen with these tiny little, where you're just trying to, like, you know, catch battle line and, you know, just being thrown all about. Doesn't, yeah. All right. And again, just want to real quick note, there is a, oh, and that's a, yeah, so that's gonna like undo Sal's mistake, kind of that little jump on the spikes for Galaxy there. But one thing to note, we do have the timers desync right now, so Galaxy may be a little bit more behind than they appear, simply because like there's a 6-second gap on the in-game timer, and we do use that in-game timer to time our runs. But yeah, that doesn't mitigate that this is like a really intense race right now. Sally getting through the return of the dream blocks rather nicely. Yeah, easily the most satisfying section of the game to complete, in my opinion. Just like, you're just constantly pressing buttons, you're just jumping out of these really fun dream blocks, and yeah, it's all too short-lived. This really should... Oh, it barely skirts under that dream block there and has to fall into the bottomless abyss. Oh, and takes another death on... Okay, so this... Yeah, so this is going to be allowing Galaxy a little bit of room to catch up. Yeah, it looks like so you're able to jump out of these dream blocks, and it looks like they're just not timing that jump on this last screen correctly. Yeah, so they take it safe with a dash there. And now they're going to be in 1500, and Galaxy... Yeah, that one screen alone there, just kind of getting tripped up on one screen, and it... Oh, man. I really hope that's not affecting Salad, because, yeah, Galaxy is just right back in this. Like, it's... Like, again, like, the objects in the mirror are, like, a little bit farther apart than they appear, but... Oh, yeah, and there's a death there from Galaxy. Alright, so Salad is one of the longer rooms in 1500. There's 2 of these really long rooms with the cycle that you, like, absolutely have to memorize to get through this level, you know, decently. Yeah, they're through... Oh, it looks like they're going for... It looks like they went for the Ultra Strat, maybe, but didn't quite get it, so now they're kind of playing a little bit safer. Alright, they get through it second try. We'll see how Galaxy handles that screen, because the rest of... Yeah, this is like another crucial part of the 1500 segment. Yeah, definitely oh! Yikes, yeah, definitely playing it safe a little bit there, but, you know, when you play it safe, that can only make it, like, a lot more costly when you take a death like that, because... Oh, gets a nice... I'm not sure if that was an intentional corner boost that they got. Corner boost being, like, a kind of weird part of the game where if you, like, dash against corner at just the right time, it's a 3-pixel window, you get, like, a lot of speed, but... Yeah, they get that corner boost, and they're out of that screen, but they did lose a lot of time just on that one screen alone. So, Salad over in 2000. Yeah, it's a return of the wind. Yeah, I saw them go through this one little room with the strawberry, and luckily they collected the strawberry before they took that death, but... Yeah, we'll see, and you can also see this fight again from Galaxy side, because there is a small little room with strawberry where we kind of go through that because it's faster than this the intended path, which is just this weird mess of spikes and moving platforms. Okay, Salad looked like they were setting up an auto-scroller skip, but didn't quite Didn't quite get it. It's a very precise dash. Okay, so they get the first part and just have to get this wall bounce now. There we go. Again, that's like an amazingly precise trick, so kudos to Salad for getting that. Alright, Galaxy in what is mercifully the only snowball room in 2000. Alright, so we'll see if Galaxy goes for the auto-scroller skip here, if they're going to take it safe and just, you know, recognizing that this... Nope, there's the auto-scroller skip. Alright, so the first part's over, now they have to get their own wall bounce. Nice first try from Galaxy. Okay, so Salad is in the end of 2000 now. You can notice him dashing just as soon as Battleline throws him, because usually when Battleline throws you, she just throws you up and you're just suspended in the air for a second. That's a rough one from Galaxy there. Yeah, so yeah, just canceling that animation as quickly as they can to just kind of get through that screen as fast as possible. And they're in 2500, which just kind of like Mirror Temple is, you know, it's just like cool skips, no seekers. It's the best parts of Mirror Temple without any of the nonsense. Okay, so Galaxy is in the last screen of 2000. And definitely have to be careful on this screen because, you know, this being one of the longer screens of this game, yeah, it gets through it pretty nicely. And they're going to be in 2500 this level with the cool skips. Looks like Salad got a nice little key skip right there. Yeah, we never collect keys in Temple. Why would you ever? Okay, so Salad trying to thread the needle here, fails a couple times. Okay, finally gets a rhythm. Yeah, but they have no time for door skip. It saves a second if you get it first try, but it loses you multiple seconds if you fail it at any point. So, yeah, understanding I don't know if they have the restream up at all, but they may be understanding how close that their opponent is to them in PB, and they're just saying, okay, I know how close this race can be. I don't want to lose any time to stuff that I know isn't going to be that great. So yeah, they are going to be going to... So they're going to be going to the last part of the level. Galaxy is also going for door skip. Well met. So look like 34 about entry into 3000 for Salad. So 3000 is the peak of the summit, and that made sense to me. Yeah, so it's like the last part of the game. It's classically difficult, just like really intense platforming challenges. So we'll discuss that more once we see Galaxy join them. Yeah, so it's a little bit over a half-minute gap, but again, like this stuff that these runners are enduring right now is, you know, some of the tightest platforming in this game. Like especially this updraft section that they're in, or downdraft section that they're in. So downdraft, basically we have the same heavy wind from the Golden Bridge sections of this game, but it's forcing you down. So moving through this cleanly involves like a lot of wall bouncing, a lot of like, you know, really intense dashing. I don't think they quite got what they wanted there, but yeah, we were able to save that, and yep. Okay, so they're in this set of dash crystals, and they should be getting over to the updraft section. So updraft is kind of harder to... Yeah, updraft is where a lot of the potential for time loss can come in this level, because there's no real way to speed a lot of these flags up, because we have this wind forcing us up, kind of like making us a little bit more floaty. And Galaxy not only having to take a death there, but also like kind of flipping up their menu, which again, minor mistakes like that can be all the difference in this race. But again, we also have found an updraft here. It gets through the first of the extremely long flags as Chad is going crazy with the... I hope that's double countdown. I hope that we're all counting down both runners' flags. Alright, gets through this second super long flag, so... Yeah, Salad is really bringing it when the pressure's on the most, which is just really inspiring to see. Right, meanwhile, Galaxy in their own updraft section, handling it pretty well, but again, these two flags, 14 and 13. Yeah, definitely super long, super costly, especially if you die like really late like this, but yeah, Galaxy is getting through. All right, so Salad is pretty much done with the updraft section. Just as like one really simple flag with just one feather and one cloud. Yeah, and they are on the final part of the summit, the last four flags now. And yeah, these flags, they're not, they're arguably, I mean, their difficulty can be argued, but, with their position in the run and, generally you're approaching this either on really close pace or just at the end of the race, they can really play hell on the nerves. But yeah, if Sal's feeling it right now, he is not showing it. They are getting through the stage with, I mean, taking one death there, but at this point, it would take more than just that one death for them to get Galaxy back to this race. They are on flag 1, and barring like anything super nervy, they are taking home their 5th win of the tournament. Yeah, Galaxy gets to flag 5 as Salad hits the last flag of the game. GG to Salad on an incredible victory with 37 minutes, 20 seconds. All right, so meanwhile, Galaxy, they're closing out this race. They are getting close to the end here. Flag 1. And again, like a minute apart is like a really solid differential for this race. It's just that, Salad really played well when it came time for it. So Galaxy gets through with 38-17. Awesome race from both runners. What a show. Yeah, GG to both. All right, so we'll wait a little bit to see if any of these runners want to come in for an interview. But if you want more of the Celeste tournament, we have another race coming up on the same channel at 7 o'clock, so in just an hour. So be sure to tune in for that. And looks like we have Galaxy in the room with us. GG Galaxy, how you doing?
I'm okay. Sad that I didn't win. I got a solid time compared to my PB. But Solid's a good runner, so nothing weird there.
Oh yeah, just looking at your, so that was like a 38, so that was just like 10 seconds off your PB, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's really solid for a race. Yeah, GG for that. Sorry that wasn't enough, but yeah, you put on a really tremendous show. What specifically do you think you could have done better?
I don't know. In order to beat Salad, who had like almost a minute better time, I'd have to do everything perfect. Like, I'd have to be basically gold on everything. There really wasn't any specific point where I felt like it didn't go great.
No, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, if you feel you played your best, then you played your best, and yeah, that's really cool that you brought your A game today. So yeah, well done to you.
Thanks.
So I couldn't quite remember. So was this your last race of the tournament, or do you have one more coming up?
This should be my last race. He had something. I think he had damaged his hand or something, so he couldn't play that match. So this should have been my last one.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you might be in brackets then. So how do you feel going into those?
A little bit spooked. A lot of good people. But I've kind of struggled trying to get into the brackets in the first place. So I don't really know. I don't really care that much how it goes from here on out.
No, yeah. Well, good to hear. Yeah, as long as you play your best and you're able to just like motivate yourself to improve, that's what it's all about, really. So yeah, good to you. All right, so yeah, I'm not sure if iSalad's going to be coming in at all. iSalad, if you're in the chat or watching the restream, you're more than welcome to come in. Otherwise, I'll just be going through the Celeste schedule for the night. So yeah, like I said, 7 o'clock on this channel, we got Felix TC versus Vital GL. There's a few more races that look like they may not have restreams going yet, but at 11 o'clock Eastern tonight, we're going to have a four-way race for you. We're going to have Tidal taking on the Sound Defense and Hornlets taking on 4i Steven. And then at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, hot little overnight match for you. We got Zinpars versus Level 99 Weeb, and both those races are going to be on Speed Gaming too. So, this is going to be the last week of the group stages, if I remember correctly. So just make sure you're tuned into Speed Gaming 2 through 6. And yeah, make sure you're keeping an eye out on Espanol, Deutsch, and Francais for the Speed Game channels to make sure you're not missing any foreign language restreams if those apply to you. Yeah. So, any final thoughts, Galaxy, or?
No.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for the race. iSalad, wherever you are, thank you for the race. I think I'm just going to close this out. So, yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to Speed Game for hosting this tournament, and yeah, thanks again. Yeah, have great days.